Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, okay, now, um, I'm in this video. Oh, hang on. In this video, I'm going to talk about Casey Anthony, who a lot of you will know. I did a video about her a few days ago. Casey Anthony is, how can I describe Casey Anthony if you don't know? I'm not going to go into the details of her case in this video, but basically this little girl, Kaylee Anthony, was her daughter and she disappeared. Quite a long time ago now, she disappeared, and Casey, her mum, instead of reporting her missing, went on a party bender for a month, was out partying with her boyfriend and his friends and her friends, drinking, you name it, she was doing it. And then, very sadly, little Kaylee was found murdered. And of course, Casey was the prime suspect, wasn't she? But what we have to remember is she went to trial. She was accused of the murder of little Kaylee, and she was acquitted. She was found not guilty. But it's also worth remembering that just last week, the judge who presided over the case was so surprised when he read the verdict, he had to read it twice before he announced it to the court because he could not believe that Casey had been found innocent. But she was found innocent. So, of course, not many people believe it was the right verdict, but it was the verdict. So I do feel that this case, if it would have happened now, with the advances in forensic science, etc., I think there might have been a different result in that case. But she was found innocent. So either the defence managed to provide enough reasonable doubt. I mean, Casey herself threw her family completely under the bus. Her father, her mother, she said that her father had abused both her and Kaylee. And this obviously was enough to bring in reasonable doubt in this case. So she was acquitted. She was acquitted, and she's a free woman. And just recently, she's been trying to reinvent herself as an advocate for transgender rights, gay rights, you name it. Not an advocate for child abuse, funnily enough, which supposedly she has suffered from, and her daughter. But yeah, I mean, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk today about her. So what she's done, she's gone on Substack, and she started up a Substack where she's written a book. Who is she anyway? And she's basically releasing installments of that book behind a paywall on her Substack, and we're going to look at that. Also, another post that she put out, which was really threatening anybody, feels it's a very threatening post, I think. You'll let me know what you think. Basically saying, well, think what you want of me, but be careful what you say, because I might take it further, blah, de, blah, de, blah. So she's a very strange woman. There you go, sue me for saying that. Maybe I'm not allowed to say she's strange. She's a narcissist. Everything's about her, nothing's about Kaylee. Never was. And don't forget, she blamed the babysitter, first of all, didn't she? She said the babysitter had Kaylee, and if something had happened to Kaylee, it must have been the babysitter that did it. And when that didn't work, then she started blaming her dad and, Kaylee's granddad. And the other thing I think we have to remember in this case is nobody has ever been found accountable for Kaylee's death. So this little 2-year-old was found very horribly murdered with duct tape around her whole head and a heart sticker on her mouth, decomposing, tossed like rubbish into the woods. And we mustn't forget that Casey's own car had maggots in it and smelt of decomposition. There was a lot of evidence against Casey, but she was found not guilty. But nobody's been held accountable. So somebody is walking around out there who murdered this little girl and got away with it. I wonder who it is. Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about in the main body of this video. So I've got a bit of waffle to talk about first. I've got some sad personal news that I want to tell you, and I want to ask you for some prayers. I'll try not to cry when I go through it. And I'm just going to tell you why. Look at it. Sorry about the state of me, but I was up last night watching England in a nail-biting game with Mexico. That we did win, thank God. But honest to God, you need a heart monitor to watch England. There's always something. Nothing's ever straightforward. Anyway, we won. That's the main thing. So I'm just going to talk very briefly about that. But first of all, I'm going to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. You'll understand in a minute. I don't think I came on at all yesterday. There's a lot going on. But thank you. And thank you. I want to say a special thank you. I know some of you have been watching older videos, because your comments come up on them. Yeah, there's a big playlist there. So maybe I need to sort of every now and again promote some of my older videos about cases and things, evergreen cases, because of course I talk about older cases or I talk about cases that are happening in the moment. So thank you to those of you who search through my channel and watch other videos as well as just the current videos. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I am tired. I've had about 2 hours sleep. What else do I want to say? Thank you for being a member. Thank you for Ko-fis or coffees that you send. They're so much appreciated. I'm still en route to the computer. I'm not that far off now, to be honest. I mean, I was not that far off before, but there's always some calamity happens. But anyway, I'm getting there. So every time you buy a Ko-fi or a coffee or send a super chat or buy merchandise, don't forget about my merchandise. On my Ko-fi page, I've got my Not in the Mood for Twonks Today mug. I mean, that's every day, isn't it, really? I need to put some more designs up there. Also, there are t-shirts and other things on there. So, where are we? So, yeah, thank you. I haven't been good at answering emails lately. You'll understand in a minute. Yeah, just thank you for watching. Thank you for every positive thing you do for my channel. Thing, that's the best word I could come up with. Thing, every positive contribution to my channel. So yeah, my head's not quite working properly. Not that it ever really works that properly. Okay, so I'm going to take off the banner and just want to quickly mention the football. I know not everybody's into football. Not all of you will be England fans. But if you did watch that this in the early hours of the morning, it was back and all, wasn't it? It was at that bloody Azteca Stadium, which is where Maradona did the Hand of God years ago. You know, it's what a funny stadium that is, or what a strange. I'm going to say strange. I mean, it was impressive, but that was a difficult game. I honestly feel that we got through that game. We could go. We're at a normal stadium next time. It almost feels quite eerie, that stadium, to me. And of course, it had because it's in Mexico, and we were playing Mexico. The Mexicans had a massive following there, and that nearly can sweep them up to win it by itself. But anyway, it didn't. And despite having a man sent off, I mean, there was just something dramatic all the time, especially into the next round. We play Norway next. Erling Haaland's team. And I'm a Manchester City fan, but of course I won't be sticking up for Erling Haaland when he's paying for another team, but they'll be a difficult team to beat as well. So there's I think it's been quite an exciting World Cup. There's lots of drama going on. I'm not going to go into everything. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that as the reason why I'm a bit bedraggled and a bit sort of zombified this morning. Now, the next thing I just wanted to tell you on a personal note, I'm not going to get through it without crying, am I? I just want to ask for your prayers. In fact, I'm going to put the candle up on here. That'll cover up my face while I might be crying as well. So any of you that watch my channel regularly, maybe you'll know that I have a sister. Well, I've got two sisters actually in the UK, and one of them, she's been in a home. She's got dementia. I'm the baby in my family. I know I am old, but I'm not as old as my siblings. There's quite a big age gap between us. And my sister, she has been suffering from dementia for 6 years. 6.5 years, actually. And she's luckily, her daughter, she has one daughter who is very, who's looked after her. I mean, she's been in a home, but she's taken her out and she's made sure she's had a good quality of life. Anyway, very sadly, she is now at the end of her life. She's developed some health problems, sepsis, a clot on her brain. I don't want to go into the details, but she's not well, and she is, really just about to pass at any time. So her daughter's there with her. She's not alone. Sorry, I didn't realise that I was going to get upset like this. But because the thing is, there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that can be done. She sadly has reached the end of her life, and it's just a question of making her comfortable. And what I want you to pray for, if you are a person who prays, or just some positive energy out there, that she has a peaceful passing, and we just want it to be over now, because there's she's not going to get better, and so and the thought of her, she can't get up and about now. I mean, my niece, she has taken her out, and for as long as she could, she's taken her to places and made sure she's got the best life that's possible under the circumstances. But recently, really, it's been difficult even to get her out or whatever. So, she's not had a quality of life recently. and she won't. So she's not going to get better. So what we're praying for is just peaceful passing on to the next world, and that's just what I'd like you to pray for, really. So that's the best we can hope for, isn't it? So at least she's been looked after. She's with people who love her, and yeah. Okay, right. Pull myself together. Where's my vape? Oh, where's my vape? Oh dear, oh dear. But you know what? Death is a part of life, isn't it? We can't escape it, none of us. And the best we can hope for is that we get a long life and we get a peaceful passing, which is not what little Kaylee got, was it? Or most of the victims that we talk about on this channel. You know, it's almost a blessing, isn't it, to live? I mean, she's 76, so it's still quite young, isn't it, in this day and age? But you know, she's had a life. She's had a difficult life in some ways, but you know, she's had children. She's sort of had experiences. These are the things that Kaylee has not had, and a lot of the victims that we talk about on my channel. So, yeah. Okay, so hello, you lovely lurkers. I hope you're all well. I know from emails and messages that people send me, a lot of you are going through difficult times one way or another. There are so many things in life that can be difficult. You know, it's like financial problems, like bereavement or illness, or worrying about your family, or worrying about your animals, or, you know, this mental health. Oh, so many things that can go wrong in this crazy life. So I know there's a lot of you out there that have had, you know, struggling too. So our prayers for all of us. We all need prayers, don't we? Just to get through one day at a time. Sometimes we need prayers. So hello, lovely lurkers. Hope you're all well. Hello, replay crew. Hope you're all well too. And let's see who's brave enough to come into the chat. On this Monday morning, it's Monday again. How does it happen? Before you know it, in the blink of an eye, it's Monday again. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Lily. Hi, Kelly. Oh, thank you, Kelly, for the video. Oh, so sweet. Thank you all for being so sweet. Hi, David. Yes, she is in good hands. She's in good hands. She's been made comfortable. People are going to say goodbye. What, you know, what can you do? But it's not. There's no. The thing is, you pray for someone to pull through, but there's no quality of life afterwards. So that's not what we're praying for. We just want her to be at peace. We just want her to be at peace, and she will be soon. So, okay. So, well, so yeah, Lily, you never got a chance at a long life. Do you know what I mean? It's a privilege to get old, really, because a lot of people don't get that privilege, do they? And this little girl, as I say, seems like she died in a really horrible way as well. And nobody has been held accountable. So that's important as well. So I'm going to read you two things. So I've been looking on Reddit about this case, because although a lot of cases, Substacks, are behind a paywall, so you have to pay to read them. Very kindly, on Reddit, people have been copying and pasting them, and you know, so we could all read them and see what she's got to say. Honestly, I've got to say, just to warn you, this woman, she takes my breath away with her audacity, with her narcissism. It's all about her. It's all about her. And she can't even see it. Some people, they just can't see it, can they? But yeah, it's quite scary to think there are women out there like that. Yeah. So what somebody has put on Reddit is, this is what they've said under body. Our child murdering legal advisor, because she's reinvented herself as a legal advisor as well, is already threatening to sue those talking about her. Just Google her name and it'll take you to the link. Over 200 comments. She's actually getting a few questions asking for advice, but the majority are tearing her apart like she deserves. Casey, we will never forget. This is the problem. Is there'll be people that will find her Substack and it says legal representative, gay rights, trans rights, all the things that she's reading. And people won't know about Casey's past. They won't. Not everybody will remember. Everybody's in interim crime or whatever. So sadly, I think it's up to. And now she's threatening anybody who even dares to talk about her. So I'm fully expecting a law to share it, but I'm going to read it out to you anyway. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, hang on. What's it? I mean, I'm going to read it out, but I'd like to just share it as well. You may be able to see it. The bloody cheek of it, though, isn't it? You know what? This woman, she should be just grateful that she got away, in my opinion. She literally got away with murder. I've got to say, she's probably going to sue me. But I don't think you can sue someone. Oh, it won't let me share it. Anyway, never mind. Let me read to you. Just make sure you're all okay in chat. Let me read to you this post. Hi, Miss Lee. I've lost it now. Here it is. Okay, you ready for this? So this is Casey Anthony on Substack. And make sure you are saying something of substance. See that right there? She said, this is the sort of woman. The law in Florida slander. You don't have to be a Florida judge. Everybody across the world. Jurisdiction is where the crime, usually if it's over the internet and you're saying something hateful, the recipient party can request the judge in the state where they live, not the state where you committed the act, the interest protected place. My next thread, I will be posting the statutes for every one of our 50 states and our territories. Do, which is advise you of your rights. The law. It is public record, and if necessary, I will remind you this is not legal advice, pure public information. You need to educate yourselves before you educate yourselves. To read out and see what Nancy Grace makes of this. I say the bullshit, but I think that's too much. Oh my God. So does an innocent person, you know, if you were innocent of any crime, you just want anything, you know, but she's been found, or she's not been found guilty, let's say, of terrible crime of murdering little Bailey. You'd think she'd be great at that and just, that was me and I was innocent and actually did it. I would be, you know, no offense to trans people or gay people. That would be where attention would be going. Who killed my daughter? There's a murderer out there who has not been held accountable. Why isn't she concentrating on that? Why has she reinvented herself as a legal advocate for trans and LGBT community? Why? Am I being reasonable there? What about child abuse survivors or something? She said he was abused and that Kate was abused by their father, her father. Well, wasn't advocating for them women's rights and the LGBT community? I just don't get it at all. She says, so we all have the same speech. Not protect you against these things most of the time. Advice is proceed literally a clear, threatening post. She's threatening people before they even start. Now you can't. I mean, I don't know, but surely you can't threaten someone. You know, if you say, oh, I'm not sure if she's innocent, can you? Is that slander? Giving an opinion on it? Because she's now a legal according to her. Yeah, honestly, the cheek of it absolutely takes my breath away. So this what woman she is. The thing she does is puts out that post. So before you say anything about I'm going to sue you. She's making Trump. She's an anti-Trumper. But to me, she is Trump. Like Trump. Just don't, anything you say about me, no, I'm not having it. And that's it. The President of the United States and the President of the United States is flack it. Hey, hello, it comes with the job. Not everyone's going to love you. The straight away, like, I'm suing this, I'm doing that. Fake news, fake election, de-election. If it's rigged, You know, that's what he's like, isn't it? If I didn't she say straight away, if you agree with me, you know, you've got a valid opinion, but if you don't, I'm warning you now, I'm going to take court. Exactly, Kelly. I think that's exactly right. If she tried to sue everyone who says something bad, God, the courts couldn't keep up with it. How's she going to do that? How's she going to sue everyone who said something bad about her? Even the judge in her trial was on Nancy Gray saying, I was so surprised when the verdict came, I had to read it twice to announce it to the court to make sure I wasn't, you know, imagining it. She's delusional, this woman, but you know, she's a typical narcissist. Everything she does, all this that she's doing in putting that, it doesn't make us think, oh, poor, she's innocent. Makes you think, God, she's so guilty. This is a character, her personality. What mother of a murdered child would come out threatening everybody like that? You know, nobody's. I don't know any other mother of a murdered child who's come out and done that. Not one that was innocent, anyway. So I thought I'd read you that first. Now what I'm going to do, and I think I should be able to share this. Let's see. So yeah, I don't know if she'll sue whoever released this on Reddit. So this is the beginning of her book that she started releasing. As I say, she's going to release it bit by bit on Substack, but it's behind a paywall, so normally you'd have to pay. She's got a lot of subscribers. You know, I mean, I'm sure most of them, they're not on there because they believe her. I'm sure some people believe her, but probably most of them are on there because they don't believe her. But I wouldn't pay her any money, would you? I mean, God, I think it's about $20 a month for the paid posts to subscribe. But so this is what she says. So I'm just going to read it out to you. You'll let me know what you think if you're brave enough. If you don't think that Casey Anthony is going to sue you over some comment in the chat, I mean, for God's sake, what is she on? I mean, it's just ludicrous. You know, for someone to successfully sue, so I mean, it happens occasionally. We saw it happen, didn't we, in the Chris Watts case when bloody stupid Alan, the armchair detective, you know, persecuting that family. But remember, he did persecute the family, trying to make out, I don't even know what he was doing. I haven't even looked into it that closely. But that's it. I think to make a case stick, to be able to sue someone, which apparently Frankie Ruzek, he didn't he, successfully sue Alan Vinnicum, the armchair detective, well, as was, because of course he lost his YouTube channel over it. But that was a sustained, you know, and he never learned. Do you know what I mean? It was like he's attacking a clearly innocent, you know, members of the, I mean, Chris Watts was the perpetrator, and Alan was attacking Shanann Watts's brother and her family, a victim's family, who had nothing, you know, clear, you know, when the perpetrator had been caught. So it's not as if you would be thinking, oh, well, maybe Frankie did it. Everybody knows it was Chris Watts who did it. But he, you know, sorry, Alan, I doubt if he's watching this, but he's a bit of a thicko, really, if you just keep persecuting a family of a victim, even though clearly they had nothing to do with it because the perpetrator's locked up. You know, it's it's just the most ridiculous thing. But to be honest, I think it'd have to be like that, wouldn't it, before anyone could successfully take someone to court. I'm probably right in the first instance if Alan would have made some sort of apology even or something, but he never did he? And he's still, from what I can gather, I mean, the only reason I even know about is from watching another channel that talks about it. I don't involve myself in it, and I didn't even know about it. If Super Chuff, I don't start talking about it, I would never have known it. But, that's the only, and I remember sort of hearing about the first time, thinking, "Well, this can't be right." Who's going to do that? Who's going to attack the brother of a murdered mother of two when the perpetrator is, been found guilty and is in prison? What is this about? But anyway, there you go. That's what happened. So I don't think Casey's got any chance of getting anywhere, to be honest. With any, what would someone have to do? They'd have to persecute her, surely. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe she'll take it to court. I don't know. I don't particularly care. Anyway, so this is her first Substack post of her new book. We'll say her new book. As far as I know, it's her only book. Who is she anyway? Oh my God. Sorry, I haven't read this yet. I'm reading this with you. We're all reading it together for the first time. Oh my God. Sorry, just seen a coincidence there. I'll tell you in a minute. Well, you'll see it as we come to it. So the media loves to say my name, Casey Anthony, or some variation of it, whether they are talking about me directly or referencing my name, because it tends to draw attention. To my friends and colleagues, I am just Casey. A select few call me Case. My middle name was Marie. Oh my God, I've got something in common with Casey Anthony. Marie, Vicky Marie, that's my middle name, that's my real name. My middle name Marie was passed down from my mother, so we would have the same initials. I don't know why I was called Marie. I don't know where my middle name came from. A trend I was certain I would follow when I had a daughter of my own. I was born in Ohio to a middle-class family, and we moved to Central Florida in 1989 when I was 3.5 years old. Both sets of grandparents had moved to 2 different locations in Florida a year or 2 before, and my parents soon decided to follow. I would not see snow again for the next 30 years. Oh, diddums. See how that affected her? Yeah, you lost your daughter as well, do you remember? All of my core memories begin in Orlando, the first of which was my brother Lee having sleep terrors or night terrors. This became a common theme growing up as his sleep issues manifested and continued into adulthood. For this and other reasons, I was never afraid of the dark, but of the comings and goings within our family home during night hours. So is she saying that her brother was abused as well? When many of you first heard my name, it was 2008 and I was 22 years old. Oh, listen to this. Listen to this. I had never been in trouble before. I never had a speeding ticket. Who said that? Just recently, in the Preston Davy case. Both those monsters who murdered little baby Preston, they both said that in court, didn't they? When they were asked, have you got any previous convictions? No, not even a speeding ticket. Well, I've got speeding tickets, but do you know what? I never murdered my child. Funny that, isn't it? No, they're so proud of never having a speeding ticket. But one of them, the baby got murdered, and in this case, the 2-year-old got murdered. Not by her, of course, because she was found innocent. I'm not saying it was her who did it, but she never even had a speeding ticket before this. Oh my God. Oh my God, my God, my God. That's creepy, isn't it? They said exactly the same thing. So I never had a speeding ticket, but yes, I was taken to court and accused of murdering my daughter. And don't forget, she wasn't found guilty of murder, but she was found guilty of lying to the police. And there was another offence as well. So she wasn't found completely innocent. So my first and only airline flight was the summer before having my daughter Kaylee in 2005. To say that I was naive is accurate. I was raised to ask questions, just not so many within my own home. I was not very politically driven, but I was not in favour of the death penalty, nor was I okay with racism or bigotry. The latter two were somewhat common where I grew up in Orlando, and I knew that I was not okay with people being targeted because they looked different or had a different lifestyle. Oh, so this is where she's saying it all began. She didn't give a shit when she was 22 years old about any of this. I don't believe her. Sorry, I just don't believe her. So the latter two, I was not in favour of the death penalty, nor was I okay with racism or bigotry. The latter two was somewhat common where I grew up in Orlando, and I knew that I was not okay with people being targeted because they looked different or lived a different lifestyle. Oh God, she's a paragon of virtue, this girl. Many of my friends growing up were black or Hispanic. Most of the kids I dated were multiracial. No, I don't think I've ever seen a picture. I've seen a picture with quite a few men, but I don't think any of them are multiracial. But that's didn't have any multiracial boyfriends. I was proud to have gay and lesbian friends who were not scared to be themselves. God, she is a preacher, isn't she? She is a complete. She likes to tell other people what to do, but do you know what? She's the one that was accused of murdering her own daughter and found guilty of lying to the police about it. Yeah. My views on the death penalty began with my daughter, probably. My views on the death penalty began to take root after taking a law studies course early into high school. I could not fathom the justification for the eye for an eye mentality when there were so many cases of people exonerated decades later for crimes they didn't commit. I never wanted to be an attorney, and I never expected to have any direct affiliation with the legal community, but here we are. As I write these words, I'm 40 years old. It has been almost 18 years since all of this started. Every single day, I carry the guilt of not having protected my child the way that a parent is supposed to, a guilt that will never go away. She parted for a month and never reported her daughter missing. Got to come back to this. That just in itself is wrong. I spent 3 years fighting for my life, for Kaylee's life. No, well, Kaylee's life had already gone. For the truth of what happened to her, for my freedom. Only 3 years. It feels like it was someone else's life, yet I carry each of these memories with me, and I use them as the catalyst for why I live my life the way that I do. I've built my life and my career around the trauma and tragedies that occurred during the first 25 years of my life. To further put things into perspective, when I was acquitted in 2011, I was 25 years old. In August of this year, I will have spent the last 15 years growing my career in the legal community, at times loving and loathing my chosen profession. In 2008, I lost Kaylee. She was and still is the best thing that has ever come into my life. I miss being a mum every day. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that in that month when she was missing, how much she missed being a mum. I can fully admit I was not ready to be a parent at 19 years old, which was my age at the time of giving birth to my perfect little girl in 2005. I've considered the idea of more children. Oh my God. I don't think she'll have more children because she probably realizes now she's too selfish for children. Anyway, I don't know. She's young enough to she's 40, she could still have children. I am so very lucky to have kids of varying ages in my life who call me Auntie Casey or their auntie. The catharsis that being around my friends' children brings is indescribable. Those are the moments where I feel closest to her, when there is nothing but pure love. My only apprehension with having more children is the state of the world. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it really safe to bring another child into it? Oh my God. The state of the world. Who murdered your child? Who did it? Casey, who did it? Why have you not found out? Why have you not found out who did it? Why are you not? So it's the state of the world that stops her having another child. Oh. I had to confront this question in the summer of 2020. I did not plan on getting pregnant. As she had another child. The world was full of sickness. I was in the middle of a handful of projects and in talks a documentary. So the irony of years being on birth control to take a break for a month and then all of a sudden you're not having a period, this brought so much conflict into my heart. I had been an off again relationship with someone who did not want more children. I was genuinely concerned about the public perception of my being pregnant. I took a series of pregnancy tests. Some were positive, some were negative, and my body felt completely off. I decided to make an appointment at Planned Parenthood. I went alone. I confirmed that I was pregnant, and the end result was that I had a chemical pregnancy. For those who are unfamiliar, a chemical pregnancy is a miscarriage early into pregnancy. God. I'm not commenting on that. I was both sad and relieved. I knew in that moment that if I decided to move forward with having another child at any point, that there would be a real plan. And even if there wasn't a person having this child with me, my child would be surrounded by so much love. Oh my goodness. Now, the thing is, one thing that she did say at the time of the trial, I suppose, was if her mum had offered to have Kaylee, and she said, oh, if I wanted to be rid of Kaylee, why didn't I just give her to my mum and stepdad? I don't know. But one thing I do know is her mum and her dad supported her so much, and she threw it all back in their faces. And the mum, her mum, was absolutely heartbroken when Kaylee went missing. Unlike her, it was the mum that reported her missing. Do you remember we listened to it, I think, or read the last time when I did the video? She was just not interested. It was just like, oh yeah, well, she's gone missing. She's with the babysitter. Oh, don't know the babysitter's real name. Oh, don't know where she lives. Oh, don't know this. I don't know that. She couldn't give a shit. I haven't told this story often. A few of my closest friends know, but it's still hard to speak about. For years, there have been rumours that I was pregnant when I wasn't, or that I was adopting children when I wasn't, or running a daycare, which I wasn't. All things the tabloids printed to make money, all things based on falsities and lies, but nevertheless things I had to deal with, as did the people around me. We did laugh at many of these articles, but it did hurt to see all of this bullshit being printed. For what purpose other than money? People don't realise how traumatic being a public figure is. Oh my God, it's all about her. Getting a random text message with a screenshot of an article on a Tuesday morning, asking if you're aware of something that isn't even real, is not normal. Those that choose a life in the public eye, I applaud you, and also have so many questions. But why, most specifically? I never would have chosen a life of notoriety. But I guess at the same time, I can't fault those who do. Artists deserve the notoriety, but also privacy. Influencers seek public attention in ways I don't think any of us could have imagined at the beginning of the social media craze. Is it really? Oh, I just lost that now. Is it really that important to engage with the world by promoting your own face every day? Well, you would know. Maybe, maybe not. I do appreciate how much information influencers can spread, especially with the current political climate in the US. But I will caution everyone. Oh, she's cautioning us again. She's only got our welfare at heart. I would caution everyone about educating yourselves of the issues in real life, not just through someone else's interpretation of current events. Well, do you know that's the whole point of social media, Casey? People are sick of being force fed information by the mainstream media. So, what people do now is they then go and look, but they look at all different. Somebody might watch me for an insight into a case or whatever, but they won't only watch me. They'll watch, 10 other um, YouTubers as well, or TikTokers or whoever, and watch the mainstream media as well. It's not, that's the whole point of social media, is it's given people other options to listen to other views, not just be force fed whatever the official narrative is. That's what social media has done, for good and bad. And yes, there are going to be people out there maybe giving false information, but people have got to develop the discernment, to know the difference, or to decide themselves who they want to believe, what their opinion is. On a daily basis, we are surrounded by stories, some positive, many negative. Certain stories, like those surrounding claims of sex assault, are becoming more frequent. And it's not because this is a new or novel act being committed, but we are finally seeing a world of women and men coming forward no longer in fear. I know firsthand the fear of coming forward with the trauma I've endured at the hands of men. including my father, men plural. The first, like I say, if you see the photos of her enjoying herself for a month, didn't seem to me that she was suffering abuse from men. She was, right, enjoying every minute of it. The first time I tried to talk about the abuse I was endured at the hands of men. Oh, the first time I tried to talk about the abuse I was a victim of, I was 19 years old. I could never say out loud that it was my father who hurt me, but instead spoke of the trauma from another family member, a family member I had already forgiven, who had not assaulted me but did molest me for the better part of 3 years. I know what it is like to wake up in the middle of the night with someone lying on top of you, pulling your bra above your chest, groping your breasts, even grinding on you through the covers. I also know what it's like to have a pillow held over my face until I pass out, only to wake up feeling inexplicable pain in my vagina after being raped. The first memory I have of this, I was 8 years old. Now, if this is true, what she's saying is terrible. Who is the other person? Was it her brother? Because what other men lived in that household? Anyway, now of course, what she's describing there, if it's true, it's just terrible. Is it true? Is it true? Well, the thing is, we'll never know, probably. When I was 19, I tried to talk to my mother, Cindy, about some of the trauma and abuse. We were living at home together, just the two of us in Kaylee. My brother Lee had already moved out into his own place, and my father George was separated from my mother. We were sitting on the floor of Kaylee's bedroom, folding laundry. She was fast asleep in her crib. I don't know what made me decide this was going to be the day, but I wanted to tell my mother some of what had happened to me. She had been a nurse since she was in her early 20s. We'd always been pretty close, but we went through periods where I questioned if I could trust her. I will never forget the words she spoke to me when I told her about the lesser abuse. So that's why you're a whore. That's what she says her mum Cindy said. So that's why you're a whore. Do we believe her? Again, what does Cindy say about it? This hurt more than my mother referring to herself as mum to my daughter. Calling me a whore was a direct attack. Those words are equally as piercing today as they were 21 years ago. I got over the fact that she butt was getting too big, or when she found other ways to demean my appearance. But this one stuck. This one created a rift that was never fully repaired. I never told her about my father, not until many years later. By then I had years of therapy under my belt, but I had also lost Kaylee, one of the few good things my mother and I shared. I just don't know what to say because I don't know what the truth is. During my case, I was interviewed by psychologists and psychiatrists. Imagine being in your early 20s, being sequestered from everyone and everything you've ever known, and being told over and over again you had to work with strangers because your life literally depends on it. That really is not the most conducive way of creating a safe and warm environment for someone, especially someone who compartmentalized their entire life into little boxes because that meant surviving until the next day. But there I was, unable to say no. Also unable to lie, because by then I had nothing to lose except my life. When I lost Kaylee, that broke me. When I was then indicted and charged with her death, still believing she could be alive, every defense mechanism that I had started to crumble. As one would guess, all of this inevitably resulted in my spending more time in therapy. I just realised this is not actually sharing. I'll just make sure. I don't think. I know you could hear me, but I'll just make sure it's sharing so you can see it as well. You can always find it on Reddit anyway, of course. So, as one would guess, all of this inevitably resulted in my spending some time in therapy. I spent the better part of a decade working with 3 different types of therapists, from trauma therapy to sex therapy, and I've also worked with relationship counselors both in and out of relationships. My first experience in talking with doctors about being abused and my dysfunctional relationship with my mother started when I was in jail awaiting trial. The real journey into therapy began in my late 20s, several years after my acquittal and the start of my career in the legal community. The hardest of these turned out to be sex therapy. Getting a homework assignment of buying yourself a vibrator, that was pretty effing embarrassing. I laugh as I type this, but it's become one of the easier things to talk about now I'm on the other side. But in that moment, I would have offered to shave my head or take a vow of celibacy if it meant that the conversation never had to be revisited. In spite of my uncomfortability at times during sessions, I was lucky enough to have incredible psychologists who were more than willing to keep me humbled and accountable, all while making sure I felt safe in each environment. My favourite therapist, she knows who she is. Let's call her Jane for the purpose of protecting her privacy. She was a spitfire. She found ways of bringing me back into the moment if things were too superficial by asking me who I was speaking to. We spoke at length about if I were ever to tell my story, and her advice was that I needed to first figure out who I was speaking to, and second, figure out exactly what I wanted to say. So where do you start? Do you start by saying, "Hi, my name is Casey. My father RAPE'd me from age 8 until just before turning 12. I like sunsets and the smell of rain. I have a shellfish allergy. I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms." So she won't get on with Erin Patterson then. Or reality TV. "Oh, and I was also drugged and RAPED'd at 18. I cannot imagine a world where people are that truthful and honest within the first 30 seconds of speaking with them. I'm also pretty confident I have never put those sentences together in one paragraph before writing this, but all the statements are true nonetheless. That is why it is inherently difficult being a trauma kid. Once you've done the work, well, at least you're alive. Once you've done the work, it is a lot easier to speak about such terrifying topics. But you still don't want to thrust this on just anyone. There's a stigma associated with RAPE, incest, and molestation, along with childhood sex abuse. It's horrifying, awkward conversation to have with someone that you're planning to have sex with. Oh, just so you know, there's a chance that I may freak out during or after sex. I may lock myself in the bathroom for a while. Seriously, have you, I'm sorry, it's so sad what she's saying. And you know what's really sad is a lot of people really have gone through this. Just the way she's talking there, you see the photos of how she was living it up while Kaylee was missing. And she's making out here she was like terrified of sex. Maybe she covered up for that fear by getting absolutely pissed and drugged out of her head. Maybe that was her way of coping with it. But this is just not true, in my opinion. I may lock myself in the bathroom for a while, and if you hear me crying, I promise it isn't you. It's just me dealing with years of shit that even with therapy can still be triggered without warning, as some of the men in my life have learned. When you also explicitly tell someone to never put a pillow over your face, there is a fucking reason. Well, who would put a pillow over your face? I am grateful to say that with all but one person, these conversations were safe and filled with compassion and reassurance. Thankfully, I can also say that the panic attacks and the tears have become less and less frequent, and at times there have been shared tears because no matter how tough they may present, each of these men can feel the pain behind the words. Allowing someone to feel safe enough to speak about trauma is a beautiful gift, no matter how much therapy someone has. No matter how much therapy someone has, the trauma will remain forever. You will feel healed to some extent, and some of the memories may fade if you're lucky, but the scars will never go away. My scars are many, and although I am not proud of them, I am not held back by the weight that they carry. I refuse to live in shame or be told by anyone ever again, this did not happen to me. I am a survivor of RAPE, of incest, of molestation, and childhood sex abuse. And at the end of the day, I am just some girl named Casey. So that's the first episode of her book. Now, I just want to show you. I mean, I you know, speechless. I'm speechless. She's making out she's some sort of prude. Terrified of sex. Let's have a look at these photos. As I say, I don't know what. I'm dying to see the video that Nancy Grace will make about this. Well, of course, will Nancy Grace be terrified? Because she's threatening to sue anyone who says anything bad about her. Let's see if we can find these photos. Oh, Kaylee's so. Can't see them. I can't get them up here. She was having a great time while Kaylee was missing. So, I don't believe that she was scared of sex at all. Well, not then anyway, maybe afterwards. What do you think? Anyway. there is truth here, I wonder. Yeah, and as you say, Kelly, why is she making it public now? I wonder why. Is it to make money? She's making money. She's got a lot of subscribers, and that's behind a paywall. I mean, why shouldn't she make money from her story? She was found innocent. We have to, it all comes down to that. She was found, or she was cleared of that crime. So the defence must have managed to present enough reasonable doubt for the jury to not feel they could convict her safely. So we have to remember that, don't we? Yeah, Joanne, the babysitter, that turned out to be a load of rubbish, isn't it? So that is something she has been found guilty of, lying to the police. Because she told the police, it turned out this babysitter didn't exist, did there? Or, so she was found guilty of lying to the police. So she wasn't found, she was found not guilty of murdering this little girl. So there must have been enough reasonable. That was like a ploy, wasn't it? Thing is, she presented the Kate, like she said, the stepfather had abused both her and Kaylee, and that I think gave enough reasonable doubt. Because of course, to find someone guilty, it has to be beyond reasonable doubt. So, God, you think she'd have the good grace to just keep quiet, though, really, wouldn't you? But no, she hasn't. Now, maybe do you think does anyone think she's telling the truth? I need to do a poll or something. I wonder if I can do a poll now. I'll do one another time. But yeah, is she telling the truth? Anybody think she is telling the truth? I bet there's very few people out there that do. And that doesn't mean say she isn't. I'm just saying. I can't think straight because I've only had about 2 hours sleep and then worrying about my sister. But I can't believe she was telling the truth. I just don't feel it. That's all I can say. She can come and sue me if she wants. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. She wasn't telling the truth about the abuse. I feel that it was her who disposed of her daughter because her daughter was cramping her style. Because don't forget, at the time, hadn't she had an argument with her mum and she had nobody to leave Kaylee with, did she? Because her and her mum had fallen out. So how would Kaylee have ended up being murdered by her stepdad? Also, we mustn't forget the real evidence that there were maggots in Casey's car, that it was thought that body had there was the odour of death, combined with the fact she said she was the babysitter and she wasn't, and she went partying for a month. She never reported her missing. It was her mum who reported her missing, and she found his mum hadn't seen her from. So, like she was abused by her stepdad or her dad. Or, she's throwing someone else under the bus now. Is that her brother? It must be her brother. Who else lived in that household? And how did she actually put it? I've turned it off now. Yeah. Remember when she said that somebody else had abused her? But she downplayed that. That must be brother, surely. I don't know. Anyway, my brain's frazzled. As I said, I've only had about 2 hours sleep. because of the football. Thank you, all of you that said praise my sister. I hope you carry on just for a peaceful passing. That hopefully situation will be over soon, and she'll have gone to the next life where we all go in the end, don't we? So, you know, I don't think she'll be like some of the people we talk about who end up spinning in hell. You know, she was a good person, kind person. She's still, you know, I'm talking about as if she's already passed. She has. So anyway, listen. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I'm going to put sorry, I didn't do. I don't even know what I'm doing now. My head has definitely gone. Sorry. Tired. I need a nap this afternoon. Definitely nap. Okay. Let me put this one up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I have all these banners and I never show them. And that's my Ko-fi link. I don't think I've got my members link to put up, but anyway. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you.